Welcome all. What's going on, everybody in the place to be? You're listening
Greetings
to
and
Strange
salutations.
Brew. Salutations, greetings. Welcome to another episode of the strangest podcast out there. I'm one of your hosts, Tomcat, aka Tomcat. All right, that's who else?
Tomcat, aka the Cat Tom Thompson, folks. He
Yeah,
is, in fact, actually several cats in a human costume for all of our listeners out there that can't see it here on the live.
When we were when I was working at one restaurant, my chef just said, when you'd sign off on certain things, like just put a cat paw. Or he was like, when he would when I was like prepping down in the basement before like the dinner rush, he'd be like, "Wow, wow," and like he would like pretty much fucking meow at me to get me to come upstairs. And I was like, "Wow, thanks, Chris. You're a great chef."
He does sound like a great chef.
I know.
And of course, Reverend Kaiju here with y'all.
He's a reverend.
People. Yeah,
Everybody's
and many different
now.
religions. I actually am.
Everyone can be a reverend now.
Yeah,
I got ordained by a minister. He sucked on my penis.
That's a fringe benefit. I didn't get that with my sign-on package, but okay.
So I got some vodka water because why not? And I'm drinking it out of the cups that Billy got me. Billy got me a bunch of Friday the 13th cups for like Christmas, like a year or two ago, and I'm drinking. I never used them, so I'm gonna use them. They're just like, those like ceramic cups.
Yeah, those
got
are
like
cool.
Jason on them. It's got like a bunch of them have different Jasons on them. Like Jason was like Killer Jason. No. It's like him standing there. I picked the hockey mask one, but I'm afraid to break them because they're ceramic.
Yeah.
All right, so this is going to be an interesting one. Like I said, right, we're going to try to do true crime and some serial killers more often than we were. We're trying to hit it at least once a month, or if it, whenever it fancies us, and whenever we feel our balls getting a nice tickle for a serial killer, we're going to get into it. And like I said, I want to do it where we kind of go back in time and we start in the 50s, go on through the 60s and the 70s. So we got another serial killer that's starting in the 50s and creeps up to the 60s, and he's a fun one, that's for sure. He's a fun guy.
Well, no, he ends in the 50s.
Yeah, so he's straight 50s, bro. Straight 50s, because you'd be surprised how many serial killers there are in the 50s and the 60s, and overall. There's many men who like to kill, some women too. We will get into some women serial killers soon. It will come. Don't worry, ladies. We're coming for your ass.
Tom's coming on your ass.
Yeah, don't take that in the wrong way, or we're gonna get canceled.
That's what's gonna get us canceled. Yeah.
But toxic women run the world, so it's okay.
Good night, everybody. Also,
right.
I know it's probably just me, but this dude kind of looks like a really ugly version of Dominic Montague, the guy that played Pippin.
Oh, he does. Yes, he does. Yeah, he does. I could see it. I could see it.
Like, he could totally play him if they ever make a Harvey Glatman film. He needs to play him.
Yeah, I could see that 100%. He does some interesting roles too. I never knew his name. Is it Montague? Is his name?
Montague, yeah, I believe
fancy.
So. Yeah,
that's a fancy name. So I actually have some a new weed tip. I was gonna smoke a joint, but I thought Chelsea would come back and yell at me for smoking in the house. She doesn't care about the pens, but smoking a joint does stink up the house a little too much. Especially we got people stopping by and shit. You never know.
No, those pre-rolls looked really tasty though.
Oh man, I'm getting like really into pre-rolls, dude. It's simple, it's easy, and usually I'm a sativa guy, but I went for it's called Cherry Bomb, and it's an indica, and it's about I think it's a 3.8 in each joint or something like that.
Okay.
And
3.8 grams in each?
Oh no. I mean 0.38 or something like that. It's like it's almost half a gram, but not really. Like it's just enough. And it's getting me like the perfect high. It is like perfect. Like I can't describe it. It's like just enough. The joint is just big enough. I like it as a big long filter. So you just toss it out
Tom
after.
likes big long filter.
Big long filter. But man, I'm getting addicted to those. I even said Chelsea. I was like, I might just have the pen in case. I love my bongs because I definitely want that Jack the Ripper bong. that I was mentioning to you when we were streaming some games. It's
yeah, you never sent me an image of that either.
Oh, I gotta send you an image of that. It's a pumpkin bong. It's literally a jack-o'-lantern bong, and it looks fucking sick. I just want it for my collection.
That's why it's called. Okay, so I was super confused. I was like, they made just a Jack the Ripper. Like I'm picturing, like the old ceramic Reaper bongs.
Yes. Yes.
Fucking saucy Jack on it instead. It's like,
I know. That's why I was like, I thought the name was clever because it's Jack-o'-lantern and you're getting ripped from it.
And you're I get it. You're taking rips out of Jack, so Jack the Ripper.
It's a smaller style bong, but man, does it look fucking cool? And me and Anton talking about the stream. This is the site that he used to get his grandpa pipe, his old school pipe style, which I'm gonna get. It's a battery for his weed vape.
Speaking of, if anybody, if you guys do buy shit off of Hemper, hit me up. I have an affiliate code. They don't sponsor this, but they sponsor me. So
yes, Hemper is what I was looking at, and they have like they have some dope bongs. They have ones that look like a popcorn. It looks like a popcorn. I
want that one.
Popcorn bowl or whatever. Like a cardboard. I don't know what you would call. What do you call?
No, the old red and white striped popcorn box with the fucking I want to get that for when we start doing the movie reviews. I want to smoke out of that when we're doing those.
Yes, when we do Unreal reviews, I definitely want to look at getting that. Maybe I'll get that before the Jack the Ripper bomb because I wait till Halloween for that. But I just want to mention because there's because we are a stoner podcast, our logo is literally us inside of a bong now. So I want to mention sometimes what we're getting.
The immortal words of the prophet Nate Dogg. Hey, 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 hey. Smoke weed every day.
Exactly. So this one I got is called Tropic GSC, and it's a high-grade sativa. It's let's try it out.
Banana Fuego.
Pretty good. Light flavored. Very earthy. Very earthy. You can taste it's a little fruity. A little fruity. But it's pretty good. So we're gonna start just talking about some of the weed.
Live resin, get that delicious weedy taste in your mouth.
Yes. And so because maybe one day
you didn't catch that.
No, what?
Oh, that was never mind. I'll tell you. Okay. I'll tell you off stream.
So hopefully one day we will get a sponsor from some weed company because it would be a good idea to reach thousands of people through our podcast, and you have the ability if you sponsor us. So let's get it going. So in the late 1950s, a horrifying serial killer preyed on young, aspiring starlets of Hollywood, taking the twisted glamour shots of his victims before sexually assaulting them and murdering them. These horrifying killings were the work of Harvey Glatman. And this is Harvey Glatman. Looks like a creepy guy. He's got big old ears.
I'm trying to think of what voice to do for this dude.
You could definitely hear if you whisper.
I'm
Harvey Glatman, and
it's like, is it too high or is it too low? It's like, I'm Harvey Glatman. I think that's giving him too much.
Yes.
Hey, you girls want me to take a picture of you? I'm gonna get with him. But he's from Denver, so he doesn't really have an accent because Colorado people don't really have an accent.
They don't?
No.
I'm Harvey Glatman. You want me to take a fucking photo of you and I'll open up your vagina with this hammer? How about that?
You ever had your photos taken, while you was indisposed? I'm Harvey Glatman. I can do that for you.
I could see that. So he was dubbed the Glamour Girl Slayer.
I'll take really quick picture.
I had to add that in.
You are shot.
Isn't that RuPaul that fucking made that song?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I know what. No, the only reason I know that song, you know why I know that song? Because the fucking Lizzie McGuire movie, one of my favorite films, and I was 10 years old. I was obsessed with Hilary Duff. I wanted to eat her vagina. I liked her a lot. And I used to love the Lizzie McGuire movie when I was like 10.
But getting back to the Glamour Girl Slayer.
So it's a Glamour Girl Slayer, that takes advantage of chicks that were wannabe cover girls. That's why I use that song and end up, murdering them. So
life was in fact neither easy nor breezy.
No, easy breezy cover girl. From an early age, long before he earned his nickname Harvey Glatman, before he earned his nickname of the Glamour Girl Slayer, Harvey Glatman expressed certain sadomasochist sexual tendencies. Growing up in Denver, Colorado in the 1930s and 40s, Glatman's parents quickly became aware of their child's unusual tendencies. He was a special boy, they say.
Yeah, he had a quote later on in life where he said it seems like he always had a piece of rope in his hand when he was a child. He said he was fascinated by it.
We will get there. But as a kid, his nickname was Weasel and Chipmunk.
Because of the buck teeth and the big old ears, which he does have some flappy ears, but none of them called him Rat Boy. Because he definitely looks like a rat boy, especially from that one angle.
Yeah, he does look like a rat. He looks like he would rat on you for stealing soap and try to sell it as crack.
Oh no, this one. Hang on, I'll pull it up.
Strange.
I'll pull it up.
You know what I love to do in the audio? I love to edit it. It's my favorite thing to do. I see, senor.
You see it?
Yeah. He kind of looks like the serial killer version.
Looks like a rat boy.
Oh, yeah. It kind of looks like a serial killer version of Rick Moranis.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, man, young Rick Moranis could also play this dude.
Yeah, I know. Rick Moranis is inside of his home now, hiding away from everybody.
Good.
Don't say that. I love Rick Moranis.
I love Rick Moranis. I'm saying for the benefit of Rick Moranis. I love him too. I'm saying he should stay away from everybody because everyone's awful.
Yeah, because they're just going to punch him in the face. For
no reason. Dude, fuck that person.
I know. So true. So his mother, for example, once discovered the young Glatman choking himself with a noose and sexually gratifying himself. Choking himself with a noose for sexual gratification at the age of only fucking 12. He was only 12 years old when he got into old spank and choke.
The old autoerotic asphyxiation, the David Carradine special.
Yes, the old spank and choke, they say. So yeah, and it's pretty far back for this fetish too. I'm sure it's existed for a very long time, but I always just think of World's Best Dad. Right?
World's Greatest Dad. That's a great Bobcat Goldthwait movie. Yeah.
It's sad and really fucked up.
It's a dark comedy.
If you haven't seen it, watch World's Greatest Dad. It is depressing as fuck.
It's not as depressing as Tom's making it out to be. It is a dark comedy. If you're a fan of anything Bobcat Goldthwait has ever directed, like God Bless America, Shakes the Clown, shit like that, watch it. It's funny. It's fucked up. And Robin Williams is in it.
Isn't Bobcat Goldthwait the guy that talks like
yes, but just like Gilbert Gottfried, that is in fact a bit and not his real voice.
Yeah, I listen to all the time when I'm driving to work on that comedy station I listen to, so I don't go insane when I'm driving to work. And yeah, he's got it's just like an interesting voice. He obviously is playing a character, but can you do an impression of him?
Oh, yeah, I used to be able to. All right, hang on. Oh, dude, I don't even know a Bobcat bit. Hang on.
No editing. No. The YouTubers don't really give a fuck. I'm sure the people who view it on YouTube and Twitch and stuff, but you know what? Afterwards, if this is audio, people are like, what are we waiting for? We're not even getting to look at this shit.
Oh, man. I think it's kind of like this, but a little bit more, just a little more unsure than this. But hi, I'm Bobcat Goldthwait, and I'm here to tell you some jokes today.
That's close. It is close. That is kind of his voice carries in sound, like he goes in different octaves of his voice.
It's in and out. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying it's a character that he plays, and I'm not practiced. I'm very stoned right now.
So he did the whole spank and choke, and at the age of fucking 12 was doing this. And you wonder where he saw this. I get nowadays where it's on the internet. You can see it. It's sometimes in movies or shows and stuff like that. The whole idea, I knew a chick, I've said the story, right, that killed herself, supposedly attempting to get high, and her mom found her in the closet because she would do it with friends and attempted to do it by herself to get high, and she was literally 12 or 13, and she ended up killing herself by accident.
That's right, kids. If you're 12 or 13, remember, just smoke weed like everyone else.
Exactly. Or print off dozens of pictures of Hillary Duff and the Olsen twins. That's super normal. So, but this idea, right, that the internet, even during the early 2000s, it still existed. People could see like weird things like this and sadomasochism style things in magazines, and stuff along those lines. But in the 40s, 50s, I get it was just coming to the light, like the pornographic images and pinup girls was a big thing, and all
Pornography
that
was still
type of
illegal
stuff.
in most places in the U.S.
Yes, it
at that time.
was. Yes. So yeah, until like the 60s or 70s when John Holmes stuck his cock in everyone's ass.
Call
But
back to our John Holmes episode.
exactly, which has gotten a lot of attention. But this idea, right? Like it is weird to think that where did he get this image of? Where did he find out where to do this? Who told him to? Was a friend on the schoolyard was like, I heard my daddy talk about how he choked himself and he said it feel real good when he touched his pecker. And then,
sure, could be that, or if he actually was obsessed with rope and stuff like that when he was a kid. I'm sure it's a normal thing that a kid is gonna be like, oh, I put this up here, and then like, oh, I put it around my neck, and then like, oh, that's a weird sensation, and it's just a gradual.
And then he touches his dick while he's doing it for some weird reason.
Well, yeah, you hit that puberty age, and if it's something that you've been doing just because it feels good before, then you're gonna incorporate it into something else that you've discovered that feels good.
Me and Billy both admitted to jerking off to the Sears catalog. So I get it. Literally any little thing would turn you on. You would see like, you go to Home Sense or some home decor place and you just see a statue of a woman that kind of had boobs. And you're like, all right. That's why I used to love till she became a politically woke asshole. Fucking quotations. But Jennifer Aniston, Friends, man, watching that when I was young and seeing those nipples poke out really got me.
On today's episode, things Tom loved to jerk off to when he was a teenager.
And how weird is, I've said this before, but Madonna was the first image I ever came to, and I was like, I don't know, 11, and it just slowly, when the internet was still slowing on dial-up, and it just slowly came down the image where it was like, oh, a nipple, oh, a belly button, oh, it's a hairy vagina. Yeah, so weird. I'm a weird guy. So it seems like I always had a piece of, I would do this voice. It seems like I always had a piece of rope in my hands when I was a kid. Glatman would later tell officers, I guess I was just kind of fascinated by the rope. I don't know what he sounds like. That's my guess. I didn't see anything to have interviews because I think it was too far back. They would have transcribed it a lot of times.
59 is when he was executed, and I don't think that he. I don't think there were any audio recordings. I don't think he did any actual audio interviews because he waived his right to trial. He wasn't really about the publicity.
No.
In a couple of the docs that I was watching, they said that he was almost relieved when he got the death penalty. Just like, yeah, that's fine, and I don't want my appeal. It's just fucking.
Yeah, I heard that too. That he was just like, all right, fuck it. And they're like, did you know that you pled guilty? Did you know that? Because we think that's kind of weird. Because we'll get into it, but he has some issues. So Harvey took a job at. What?
There are way too many YouTube true crime videos that are like, I'm going to talk like this, and I'm not going to put any cadence into the things I say. I'm going to pause at weird places and sound very, monotone.
100%. There's too many of them, and they're all ridiculous. That's why you can just listen to a podcast instead, like ours, and just get the gist of the story, rather than have somebody speak like this. So Harvey Glatman choked her to death. And yes, it's stupid. You poking me or something?
I am poking you, yeah.
But and there's so many, just all the ridiculous true crime docs. Or it's like the dudes on YouTube, they're like, one night on this day, this woman got murdered. How she got murdered? Click on my other video and subscribe to my channel to find out. And it's just like, and they always do the same stupid voice. And I've made fun of it on one of my videos because it is. And there's people in the comments like, why do you speak like this every time you tell a story? I don't understand.
Because they all want to have that investigative murder documentary voice.
But you don't need it all the time. It's like, one day this lady got murdered by a knife and it was so bloody. You just make it really annoying and people will appreciate it.
Yeah, but you also don't want someone to be like, what's up, everybody? Check this out, man. This person got their fucking head cut off.
I would rather do that. I might start doing
about this.
I'm gonna start doing my TikTok videos like that. Okay,
my
today
God,
on
don't.
Strange Brew, we're talking about a chick that took a fucking spray can up the asshole. All right, so Harvey
This
took
dude had his balls smashed with a fucking log. Tune into Strange Brew to hear more.
I'm actually gonna do one of those. I swear to God, I will.
Do it. You
I'm
won't
gonna do
scared.
it. Maybe for this one, I will. Just for the
Also,
the
Tom,
fancy.
are you gonna send me that case of? Oh yeah.
Is that actually a beer?
Yes, that's what it's called. The whatever the Hits FM thing was, they named the beer. Oh yeah.
Where can I find it? At LCBO?
Yep, LCBOs are gonna have them.
I'm gonna go to the cash register and I'm gonna ask the lady, like, I heard that there is a beer called Oh yeah. Can I get a case?
Dude, that's what we were joking about. We're like, man, every bartender in Ontario is gonna be like, if you order that one more fucking time, I'm gonna come over this counter and murder you. I've heard it 300 times tonight. The beer sucks, okay? It's not even a good beer. You guys just keep ordering because you got to say, oh, yeah, when you get to the fucking counter.
Harvey took a job as a delivery boy, which meant he knew where specific people lived. Like say,
BTK.
Lone women, where eventually he would break into their homes, who lived alone. They were who lived alone when they were not there. He would steal small items, trinkets, panties, stockings, and even a gun from one house. So you just kind of creep around. Another serial killer before his time, but makes as a little reminiscent, just a little bit of good old Richie Boy and BTK for sure.
Oh, the BTK, I think a little more so in the delivery job because Richie didn't have a job. Richie just loved shooting up cocaine and fucking robbing motherfuckers.
That's true. He did love that. He enjoyed that very much.
And AC/DC.
He loved AC/DC.
Fucking loved AC/DC.
He would jack off in fucking Angus Young shorts.
Yeah, he called it shooting to thrill.
And as he was murdering someone, he would sing "Big Giant Balls," whatever that song's called.
No, wasn't he into like the Prowler or whatever the fuck that I don't know AC/DC. I just know that it's
it's
played the fuck out.
Yes. It did get worse as the time went on, and he would stalk women, break into their apartments, this time when they were home. So, and he would start doing, we'll get into it, but he would do some weird shit too. When Glatman was 18 and still in high school, he was arrested after he tied up one of his classmates at gunpoint and molested her. So he was very, very young when he really started getting into this. Seems like it, especially jerking off, choking yourself at 12 is probably not going to lead to a good road. So if you're out there listening to this and you're 12, jerking yourself off right now with a rope tied around your neck, please turn this off and go get help. Go get help.
What happened to you that's where your life took a turn? Like not kink shaming at all, but I mean that it seems a little early to be
definitely early
needing something other than just like, oh, the wind blew my balls the right way. I guess I'm jerking off.
I know. So he continued to rob and sexually assault women for years, and he would like make it some sort of like kind of date where it was really only for his pleasure, and he would make them like watch TV and shit with him. It was very strange, but yeah, fucking weird. Do you see that too, right? We'd like force him to sit down and like watch TV with him, and he likes sitcoms the most. He would chill with them and be like, let me put my favorite sitcom. You want to have a laugh? Look at this guy, he's hilarious.
Yeah, meanwhile, these poor women are just, tied up like,
to death.
I'm gonna fucking die here.
Yeah. So, and he would serve small stints in prison. The women usually would not confess to what he did out of fear of embarrassment and to being obviously talked about in the courts, which will lead to the public. And, we got Betty down the street be like, well, I heard that she had to watch TV with this guy and she said that he raped her, but he was just trying to offer her a good laugh of a nice sitcom with John Goodman in it. I'm just joking. It wasn't around then.
But no, I was thinking the same thing too. When doing the research, they were talking about how they're like, well, they didn't want to have this in the courts, and I think it's much less not wanting it to be in the courts and much more not wanting it to be in public opinion. Whereas, people are talking about it in church, and then someone does that whole like, maybe she threw herself at him. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that happened a lot. It's always the women with those like churchy dresses on with the little hat on the back, and they have the little coin purse that they hold like this, like right against their body.
Yeah, the people that go
Susie down the block. She wore her socks 2 days in a row. That's disgusting. Like stuff like that. It's just like the most pettiest bullshit.
The people that use church as a fucking sewing circle gossip arena.
Yes. They're
Yeah.
like, let's go to our book club and fucking talk about how Henry down the street likes to get down and dirty with Martha while fucking Davy's off at work. So weird. She likes the milkman. That's what it reminds me of back then. It's like, she's fucking the milkman. Do you know that, Susie? She's fucking the milkman. Yeah, Betty, but I don't know, fucking just and fucking
They're
gossip
just mad
girl.
that the milkman ain't spraying no cream on them.
Usually it is out of jealousy when they speak against other women like that. So it's crazy. So yeah, after he was arrested when he was only 18, he did stick up a couple, what they thought was a real gun. So he, like, at gunpoint, he said, like, give me your shit. He stole the wallet of the man, and raped the women while the guy watched. Probably pretty brutal. And he was threatening to kill them, but the gun he had was only a cap gun. He only had a cap gun, bro. Yeah, it was only a cap gun. You could have smacked it out of his hand. You would have been fine.
No shit.
I know. And back then, a cap gun's got to look pretty. Actually, back then, it looked more real than it does today.
Back then, it was more or less a real gun that just didn't fire bullets. Yeah.
It's like metal, because I think it was like little cap guns. I used to have one. It was like made out of metal. It looked pretty real. It just looked like half the size of a real gun.
Yeah.
It really did. And so he fled, and obviously a fear that they were gonna rat him out to the police, which you get assaulted and robbed, you probably should. So yeah, and then he actually would go to attempt to rape a nurse, but she did fight back hard and was able to escape. She fought back hard. This chick, that's for all the women out there and men. If you have no balls, how you fight off it? You make as much noise as possible. Even my law teacher told me this. You make as much noise and you make as much calamity as possible. You just rant and rave and you scream and you you wiggle, you jiggle, you do whatever you gotta do, but you make as much movement and as much noise as possible until you get shot and you're dead. Then it's too late. But that's what everybody says, is you gotta do the dance. You gotta really make as much noise as possible to try to get the attention of whoever is around.
Makes sense. I mean, yeah.
Because if you just stay silent, what's gonna happen? You're going to end up like half of Paul Bernardo's victims.
Oof.
Yeah, it's tough crowd.
That's rough.
So yeah, and then he went on to try to attack two other women who actually went to the police, and within 2 days, Harvey Glatman was arrested, and his parents were informed, but they were shocked by their son's behavior.
They just kept bailing him out too. It's like every time he'd get arrested, the parents would be like, "Nah, I guess we'll go pay your bail." It's like after the third. I mean, I get that's your kid, and I get that you have to protect them, and I'm sure they probably thought, "Oh, he's just sick. He needs help." It's like there is no help he's gonna get at this time that's really gonna work. It's like if you're that concerned, commit his ass to a fucking institution.
And they're shocked. They're surprised after they caught their son when he was 12. Choking himself and masturbating. Like, come on.
You can't be that surprised. That's the whole, like, unless you're that much of an absentee parent, I've never really bought the whole, we had no idea. It's like, bullshit, you didn't have any idea.
And so, yeah, then he would go on to get sentenced to 5 to 10 years. And he would only serve a small part of the sentence, as was granted parole to live with his parents.
Yeah, for being a model prisoner. If
you feel ashamed of masturbating, all you got to do is pray to Jesus to take your arm and do it for you. Wow. That's a throwback to the St. Patty's Day episode that's on Patreon right now if you want to see me get wasted as fuck.
Yeah, Tom went hard in the paint on that one.
I drank a whole 26er, as I said in the last episode, or the episode before this one, whatever it was, the 2 episodes ago. But yes, and so if you want to see some extra content, you know where to find us, www.patreon.com/strangebrewpodcast.com or patreon.com/strangebrewpodcast. You know where to find us. Yeah, we're getting more and more people, so jump on there and get some extra content, have a little fun. It's only $3 a month. So he was actually arrested again for assaulting more women. It's over. Back in the day, man, it's just like a little slap on the wrist. All right, go on.
It really does appear that way, yeah.
Assault somebody, yeah. All the time. It seems like back then it was boys be boys. Boys be boys. They fucking rape women.
Boys being boys is, a certain thing for certain things where it's like, oh, those boys are out there slap boxing at each other and throwing shit at each other in the woods. Like, boys will be boys. But assaulting people is not.
These boys are all slapping their dicks together in the fucking locker room, and boys be boys. It happened in those football locker rooms. You got Johnny with the fucking 10-inch, and everyone's like, Johnny, slap that around.
starting to feel like I made a mistake being a goth kid in school.
I know you should have been in the fucking
I
locker
clearly
room.
should have just gone for jock and been like, "Oh, y'all are all gay, cool."
Yeah, literally. But then you obviously have that idea too. They're all like whipping each other with towels. But then this idea where they cover up football players, like, oh, this guy, sexually assaulted some chick, and it's just like, boys be boys. He's got to play in the football game. If he gets arrested or he gets kicked off the team, then we're gonna lose to Washington.
I think that's much less than it is now, but I know
Yeah.
in Texas, and especially in like the 70s, that was a fucking thing. They
Fuck
took
yeah.
that shit real serious.
Look
It's
at
like,
Animal House.
he accidentally hit somebody while he was out drunk driving.
Yeah.
We're gonna sweep this under the rug until the championship. Y'all are going to state, okay? So we're gonna sweep this under the rug and make sure it don't fucking come out until maybe well after. If you lose, though, my God, we're gonna nail you to the fucking wall. But if you
We're
win,
going to state.
son, if you win, we were gonna hide this body anyways, okay? You feel me?
Yeah. So when he was arrested for assaulting even more women, he spent time in prison. He actually spent time in the Sing Sing jail. Sing Sing in the jail. You know who else went there, right?
A lot of people, a lot of big names went to Sing Sing. Berkowitz was in Sing Sing, I believe.
Berkowitz was. Who's the big mustache man that went there?
Oh, Ed Kemper.
No.
Which one?
Albert Fish went to the Sing Sing jail. That's where he was executed.
Oh,
the
yeah,
pins in his
yeah.
bum.
Yep. Yeah, because Sing Sing
Albert
had
Fish.
Sing Sing had Old Sparky. That was the name of the electric chair in Sing Sing.
Yeah, and that's the one that fucked up Albert Fish, and he was like, the biggest whatever he said, the biggest pleasure will be death in itself or whatever, because he was a pure psycho. But you know what? Kids did not like that mustache ride.
Wow.
Jail, and then obviously, so in jail he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. So makes a little sense. He's unhinged, but who knows? He could have been bipolar too. Back
schizophrenia
then,
was the diagnosis du jour at that time too.
Yeah.
Anyone that wasn't right was schizophrenic.
Yeah, you're kind of crazy. You know what I mean? You're a woman that just didn't put the dishes away properly, and then you were committed. You're like, my husband beats me. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Here. Take this jacket. It's a really nice warm jacket. We just put your hands real closely, getting a little bear hug. Oh yeah, like you're hugging yourself. You love yourself a little bit more each day, right? And then fucking tie it tight, and now you're in a fucking straight jacket.
Actually, I'm just gonna lay down. This is kind of fine.
But this
is gonna hit me up with that Thor theme. Oh, that's this stuff.
This is where it starts ramping up. So in 1957, Harvey Glatman moved to Los Angeles, where he began working as a television repairman to support himself. What a day! Now you just throw out your TVs in a landfill.
Yeah, back when stuff was made to last.
This guy, he comes in your house, and he's got the bunny antennas, and he just like moves them a little to the left, a little to the right, and he's like, "All right, give me your $3," because he probably didn't get paid too much. All right. So, and whereas crimes would obviously quickly escalate, he would approach women posing as a photographer, and then act out obviously his murderous desires, because it seemed like he started progressing like a lot of serial killers do, almost all serial killers, where it starts slow, where you just start getting your fantasy like Dahmer, like Richie, like all these people. They start small, he breaks into homes, and then he breaks into homes while they're there stealing stuff, kind of giving them all kissy making them watch TV and stuff with him, and then it goes to eventually, if it goes far enough, when they don't have mental help for themselves, or somebody try to reach out to them, in a lot of cases, they end up murdering somebody. Yeah, so he posed as a photographer.
For those listening and not watching us right now, Tom is mouthing every single word in time to that song.
Yep, I just told you I love Lizzie McGuire. His first victim was 19-year-old model Judy Ann Dull. Judy was dull.
Wow, we're making fun of victims now.
I've been doing that the whole time. She's pretty. She looks like, I don't know, in the photo she looks like she has a little bit of a lazy eye.
She's a model.
She's pretty. She's looking. Yeah, she's
19 years old and going through a wicked fucking custody battle.
Yeah, which sucks. So she was engaged, obviously, yeah, and she had a very expensive custody battle, as you said, with her ex-husband over their 14-month-old daughter. That's crazy. So you were already married and had a 14-month-old daughter by the time you're 19, trying to be a model. But that's all. Even that's Hollywood at this time in the 1940s. Women would just show up there, being like, I'll be discovered. I want to be on the Hollywood scene. I want to be a model. I want to be an actress. And they thought that they'd be at a diner serving somebody, and it would be, all of a sudden you would see Roman Polanski, and he's like, man, you could really be a star. Do you have a daughter? How old's your daughter? A little far? No, I don't think it was that far. Everyone knows Polanski's hiding in
nothing but fucking pedo jokes this whole episode.
That's true. It's true. So when a man named Johnny Glynn called her, offering as much as $50 to pose for a cover of a pulp novel, she jumped at the opportunity. Because he would claim it was for detective magazines, those pulp fiction style magazines, and they would go on. How much is $50 in nowadays money?
$450.
What? It's decent just for one photo. Yeah, so she posed for the cover of a pulp novel, and she that's what he told her it was. And that's he lured them in, saying, and this, I feel like there's another serial killer that did this exact same thing in like the fucking 80s. I can't remember his name, but I'm pretty sure there's somebody else that does the same thing. Gets people to like, oh, I'll take your picture. Who is that?
I don't know who that is off the top of my head, but a lot of like photographers would be later discovered as creeps and shit, because it's like, oh, I have a camera and I can get access, because that's all it took was a camera, a decent one, knowledge of how to develop shit, and a basis understanding of photography as an art. And you can go up to anyone with stars in their eyes and be like, oh, can I do some photo shoots for you? Like, oh yeah, I work for this agency, and so you don't have the internet to back this shit up or check it out. So
yeah, and then they often work at fucking pageants. I'm sure there's gonna be some moms out there. No, but it's true that don't fucking
don't put your child kids into child pageants. If you do, you're an idiot. Weird. You're a fucking scumfuck. I'm sorry.
It is so weird, and I'm sure if Borat went undercover on some sort of pageant thing, he would probably discover some fucked up shit.
Yeah, just for the last time, let your fucking children be children. Okay, they don't need to be. You don't need to live your vicarious dreams through them. They are their own individual person.
Exactamundo. So when Harvey Glatman arrived to pick her up, none of Dahl's roommates saw her in any danger. And he's a small, he's a weird looking dude. He's short, he's scrawny, he looks like a rat. So they're like, oh, this nice photographer. He's not like this big hulking, dangerous looking man. So it kind of allowed him to get away with maybe some of this, thus allowing him to lose his virginity at 29. He lost his virginity.
Yeah, how fucked is it that he loses his virginity in a rape? I don't think that counts.
No. So
if this dude's only ever raped, then he's still a virgin.
Yeah. So he did lose his virginity raping this woman, which is fucked up. And the fact that he was 29 and she was 19, also pretty disturbing. And so he drove her out to a secluded location in the Mojave Desert outside of Los Angeles, where he strangled her to death. It was there that Harvey Glatman would continue to take women, tie them up, sexually assault them, and finally murder.
Yeah, strangulation was his preferred method as well.
Yeah, and it just seemed like it just once, a lot of the times this happens, but once they get a taste for it.
He's a process killer too. Like he's all about the whole performance of it. Like in him, it was the lure, and then the bondage, and like I feel like BTK really liked this dude, because how BTK was a big fucking serial killer fanboy.
He was into looking into all of them, and this was about 20 years, 15 years before BTK really started, probably longer.
Way before that, because he was executed in 59. So I feel like BTK didn't start until
and you know what?
60s
into the 70s. I don't think
you said was written about in like those fucking tabloid true crime pulps back in the day. Yes. So I'm sure he had access to them.
Yeah, and BTK loved those magazines.
Yeah, well, I mean, so much of it is reminiscent. Like besides the binding and like I don't think he was as wicked as BTK, because BTK was like fucking not and torture and shit like that, but it's still like making them beg for their lives and then strangling them. It's just horrible.
Yeah, and BTK is fucked up, and we're eventually going to cover him. Anton has expressed that he does not want to be in on that conversation,
No,
but
I will, but I want Billy to be in with it as
yes,
well.
Billy will be there because he doesn't know shit, and I want to disturb Billy's brain.
The reactions that Billy gives whenever, talking true crime, I think makes the episode.
Yeah, because he goes in blind. He has no idea who half these people are. He's only heard of their names through me or something among those lines.
Right.
Because Billy's too busy working to think about anything else but himself. So
Good for you, Billy, you go get it. You make that fucking money.
You go get it. You go prostitute yourself with cheeseburgers on the side of a highway. Because
Randy, are you out here prostituting again? Man's gotta eat.
So this is I would kneel them down with everyone was the same. Glatman later told police, with the gun on them, I would tie this 5 feet piece of rope around their ankles. Then I would loop it around their necks. Then I would stand there and keep pulling until they quit struggling.
I think you might have nailed it. I think that's the voice.
Yes. Well, I masturbated. So that's a pretty brutal. You tie around the end and keep you stand up and fucking pull on it, which is a pretty intense way to kill somebody. So she looks pretty scared. I don't know if that's when she knew or when she didn't know.
I don't know. I think that one is not nearly as bad as some of the other ones.
We'll get into it.
The one.
I didn't want to go too brutal because this is going to Twitch while we're recording.
One of them you can't show either because she's topless in it.
Yeah, so I didn't want to show too much of the brutalization of these women. So I think pretty sure this was when he was taking the photos, when he was posing them for the magazines. So they had no idea yet. He's like, look scared. And then within 10 minutes, they were scared when he starts unzipping his pants and be like, you're tied pretty tight there. You ain't going anywhere.
Well, they, he started by waving the gun around during the shoots and stuff, and I'm sure he tried to explain it.
Act scared. I'm not gonna kill you. Act scared.
Exactly.
Fucked up. So Harvey Glatman took this photo of Julie right before he raped her. So this is the photo we're talking about. Strangled and left her body in the desert. Again, the same style. Harvey Glatman's next victim was Shirley Ann Bridge. 24, a divorcee, and a model. They're often divorced, who he met through a Lonely Hearts ad using the false name George Williams. So this would probably happen a lot, right? Because women go to Hollywood, a man promises them the world. Maybe he's abusive, or they just don't get along in some fashion, because I feel like abuse was a little more run rampant in the 50s. We have all these stereotypes of, the housewife working while the dad comes home from work every day angry and takes it out on the kids and the wife.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't always happen, but 20-30% of the time, I bet it did. And then you have alcoholic fathers and stuff like that around this time, because it just wasn't shunned in society as it is today. So obviously, Lonely Hearts. So it's taking advantage. It's like the classified ads rapist that me and Juan talked about in Florida. Of course, he was from Florida, but it's the same style of
Craigslist killer, the preying on the weak. It's what serial killers are known for.
I know a buddy at work wants to do the Craigslist killer. He finds it fascinating. He's like, "Yeah, you should come on." And I was like, "Yeah, we'll discuss it." I like keeping it consistent with my two best friends, Billy and Anton, because you're my best friends.
Yeah, me tell you about my best friend.
So obviously Glatman picked up Bridgeford under the pretense of taking her to the dance. So you want to go to the dance, baby? Want to go to the prom night? So instead, he brought her back to his place, where he tied her up, photographed, and raped her before taking her to the desert, where he killed her. He left her body unburied in the desert to be ravaged by animals and the wild desert wind.
Yeah, this dude was just genuinely fucking awful.
This looks like she is scared.
That one looks like legit. She knows something's wrong. Something's real wrong. But she's in the fucking desert at that point, so
What's that? Riding on the horse in the desert, steed. Is that who is that?
Talking Horse with No Name by America.
Yeah. Yes. Is that Neil Young?
No, it's America.
That's what it is.
The name of the band is America.
Yeah. In desert, and I raped a chick, took a photography. All right. We're supposed to be dark humor people. I'm never going to stop. Can't make me.
If only the jokes were funny.
Yes, that's true. So this photo showing Shirley Ann Bridge found obviously bound and gagged was taken by Harvey. Before then, he raped and strangled her. As he had with Dull, Glatman found his next victim, Ruth Macirdo. I think that's it. Maciradu? Yes, sir. Ruth Maciradu.
Mercado?
Mikado? Is that it? My
Mercado?
man. Ruth
Yeah,
Mikado?
Mercado.
I saw
Mercado.
it's do at the end. So I'm like, Makara do?
There's an O at the end.
Yeah, do. D-O is do.
Doe.
Makara do.
Mercado.
Now I'm fucking you. She was also 24. He found her through a model agency. When he arrived at her place for a planned photo shoot, he learned that she was feeling too ill to proceed. I have COVID. So undeterred by this fact, he's like, whatever, I ain't scared of the goddamn flu. And Harvey Glatman returned to her house hours later. This time, Harvey Glatman let himself in, raped her repeatedly at gunpoint throughout the night. And so he didn't even care. He's like, he found out where she lived. He offered the photo shoot. She was sick. And then he was like, all right, blah, blah. This is, I'll leave. You're not feeling that great. And then he comes back later and then just breaks in and rapes her, which is pretty awful.
Yeah, nothing that Harvey Glatman has done has ever been anything but awful.
Yeah,
I don't care if he helped an old lady cross the street with her groceries. It was still awful.
Pure scum. So yeah, he repeatedly he like raped her throughout the night, holding her at gunpoint. So pretty crazy. And this is a photo of her. She's bound and gagged, tied up. Pretty fucked up shit. She actually looks dead at that point. So maybe don't show that for too long. And so in the morning, Harvey forced her to walk out to his car and then drove her to the desert where he killed her in his usual manner. She was one I really liked, so I told her we were going out to the desert spot where we wouldn't be bothered, where I could just maybe take more pictures. Glatman later revealed during his inauguration, interrogation. It's like he's going to be president.
Cringe.
Glatman later revealed during his interrogation, we drove out to the Escondido district and spent most of the day out in the desert. I took a lot more pictures and tried to figure out how I could keep from killing her, but I couldn't come up with any answers. It's like how could I not kill her? How do I get away with this without her telling on me, rat me out? It's very fucked up, very strange. I doubted he probably said that to the cops. He's like, well, I wanted to keep her, but I don't know how would I keep her though? Make it to a wax museum.
Yeah, I mean, this dude wasn't proficient in anything other than apparently, rape and murder. So it's not as though he would probably know how to preserve a body.
His intelligence wasn't that high, probably.
No, he just seems like a really fucked up dude. But there's also not a ton of information on him.
No, there's not. That's why when we get into some of the, as we're talking about going forward into these serial killers from the 50s and the 60s and stuff like that, there won't be as much detail in the case sometimes as there is obviously with how detailed and gruesome and fucked up you get into the nitty-gritty details when you're talking about people like Jeffrey Dahmer or big cases of these big-time men, these big-time serial killers, and how deeply the research went into these people that became like archetypes of fucking society in the 80s and 90s. Disgusting, fucked up archetype, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not as though he was really interviewed all that much either. He just, took them to, once everything was done, I think he was just kind of fast-tracked to death row. Because he was executed a year after he fucking,
he was
convicted.
Like, I'm
apprehended,
I mean. So, so Glatman attempted to continue with his MO, his modus of operandi, and was foiled. He was fooled and foiled when he chose the wrong victim. 28-year-old Lauren Vigil.
This bad bitch. She fucking whooped his ass. Good for her.
I know. Lorraine Vigil had just registered with the model agency when she was contacted by Glatman for a photo shoot. She got into the car with him and was not worried until he started driving in the opposite direction of Hollywood.
You know what's fucked up is that
Yeah.
she so the modeling agency that she was a part of, Glatman worked for, and he had originally intended to kill the head of the modeling agency.
Wow,
but
really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's
But
fucked
she
up.
did not like him, and she was like, "Man, this dude's kind of fucking weird and murdery. I'm not gonna go for this shoot," because she was also a model.
Yeah.
And then she said her instead.
Here, you can take my place. He creeps me out. You
Yep.
get murdered, then I'll know.
Yep.
And yeah, she's not one of the greatest looking models, but I guess for a 50
What are
standard.
you talking about? She's
all right.
pretty.
All right, I don't know. Put her to the moon. Right to the moon. All right, so I did okay,
Unfortunately, she has that name Lorraine, so
you know
she has that name Lorraine, like that fucking fraudulent bitch.
Lorraine fucking Babbitt.
Lorraine Warren.
Oh. I thought you were talking about fucking Bobbitt.
No. I'm talking about Lorraine fucking Warren.
Should we? I think we should have for a Patreon episode. Let's talk about
the snippy.
Yeah, cut off the guy's dick and threw it in a fucking meat dispenser.
And then he did he didn't do it. She threw it in a field. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, I feel like there was another news story, and the chick cut off his cock and then put it down a garbage disposal.
Oh,
I know. Yeah, so we had to watch it happen. Yeah, because we'll get into Lorraine Bobbitt or Bobbitt, whatever how you pronounce her name, because there's people say it differently. Maybe that'll be a Patreon episode, so make sure to jump on there because it is pretty weird and it's an interesting case enough. But I just think it's fine when the cops are trying to look for his cock in the fucking tall grass.
Well, he got it reattached and then did a porno later.
So fucked up. Yeah, we'll get into that later on in another episode. Oh, so yeah, she's like, I did not become alarmed. However, until we entered the Santa Ana freeway and he was driving at tremendous speeds, he wouldn't answer my question and he wouldn't even look at me. Lorraine later said. Yeah, so then Glatman claimed his car had a flat tire, pulled over on the side of the road. Once the car was parked, Glatman pulled out his gun on Lorraine and tried to tie her up. But Lorraine, however, was able to grab the gun by the muzzle, tried to wrestle it from Harvey Glatman. He then tried to convince her if she let go, he would not kill her. I won't kill you. Just let go of the gun, please. I will not kill you. I will not kill you.
Yep.
And as they fought over the gun, Glatman accidentally fired a bullet that actually passed through Lorraine's skirt, grazing her thigh. So she got very close, but no cigar on his end. At the point that Lorraine bit Glatman's hand, smart chick. That's what I'm saying. Fight back. And was able to get a hold of the gun.
Evidence.
Yes.
You could, especially here's a fun tip for all of you out there. You know what's not illegal to carry in your car and works way better than pepper spray? Wasp spray. So get that foaming wasp spray. You have 20 feet between you and them. Yes. And here's another fun fact. You can't wash that out. You have to go to the hospital where they have to do some shit. So when the cops ask you, who is your attacker? You're like, it's the motherfucker who's is currently in the hospital getting his eyes flushed out for wasp shit. So
there's a good tip, ladies. Don't get raped.
Stay safe.
So police, she had him at gunpoint, obviously, and held him there until the police came. She literally wrestled out his hand, pointed the gun at him, and was like, "You're fucking." And he was like, "No, please don't fuck kill me." And he cried like a little bitch he was. So she pointed at him, and Glatman held she held him there until police got there. Likely alerted by passing motorists that arrived on the scene, police arrested him for assault. At which point he was willingly and to admit pretty much to his previous 3 murders. He kind of just confessed and was like, "Well, the jig is up. This is kind of it. I'm doomed." He eventually led police to a toolbox that contained pictures of hundreds of women that he had molested, as well as the 3 victims. Hundreds of women that he held. And held captive.
Motherfucker was caught red-handed with a mountain of evidence against him. Maybe that's why he was just like, I'm just not even going to fight this.
And the thing is, like we say, right? Serial killers take trophies. And this was his. Hundreds of photos of women, which is pretty crazy. And he spoke openly about his crimes to law enforcement because he knew he was done. He probably was reveling in it. You know what I mean? Like, he enjoyed thinking about it much as every other serial killer.
Yeah.
When he was put on trial for his crimes, Glatman pled guilty and repeatedly requested that he be given the death penalty. Just fucking kill me. I want to die. Get this over with. And even attempted to stop the automatic appeal given to all death penalty cases in California.
No, I believe he did stop it. He just completely waived his right to it and was like, nope.
Yeah, which even the judge was like, I remember, like in the doc I was watching, they're like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this?" And he's like, "Yeah, like just kill me. I've had enough." But it seemed like he had a really rough life, being teased, and obviously then you have an inferiority complex where you have to because you were bullied and treated like shit and made fun of and humiliated to an extent, you want to do that to other people, and this happens a lot with serial killers.
Yeah, with serial killers, yeah, but I'm saying that's not the case either. It's like, there are plenty of people that have been bullied that just basically go the opposite way, where they're like, I don't want anyone to ever have to deal with that because that's bullshit.
Look at Bill Gates, man. He's like a great guy, philanthropist, gives money to tons of people.
No, man,
really
Bill Gates wasn't bullied enough.
Yeah, he wants the population to succeed and grow, and all of us to be super healthy. You know what? He gives African people really great medicine that doesn't kill them or harm their children or cause tons of deformities. No, that's he's a good guy. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, bullying is one of those things that it's really bad, but it can also be constructive, because if you are in school and you know somebody that goes around and really, really, really believes that they're a wolf, maybe you let them know that they're being kind of fucking weird.
Yeah, I know, it's true.
Maybe help bring them back to reality a little bit and be like, hey man, let's go hang out. You're not a wolf, dude. I'm sorry. You're not. You're just not. You're a person, but
And then they
it's cool that you want to be like, man, fucking work that into your personality, but get really into wolves, but you're not a fucking wolf, dude.
Now they have a whole convention for people like that.
Oh, furries do their own thing. I don't give a fuck. As long as you're adult and consenting age, I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. That's what I'm just joking. But yeah, everybody love everybody. And
but please know the rest of us think it's kind of fucking weird.
Yeah. So then obviously he's put on his crime. He was asked for the death sentence. So ultimately, Harvey Glatman was killed in the gas chamber at San Quentin State Prison on September 18th, 1959, bringing his horrifying killing spree to an end.
Do you think cyanide gas is a terrible way to go, or do you think it's quick?
Ask the Jews. I hopefully it's quick.
Wow, but you're not wrong though, because it was pretty more or less the same fucking chemical that was used in the gas chambers.
What was it called? Zyklon B.
Zyklon B, yeah, but it's a cyanide gas compound.
Yeah, and I don't know. Suffocating seems kind of nice. I don't know. There's got to be better.
I don't know. Drowning is supposed to be one of the most painful ways to go, other than like a gunshot wound to the stomach.
I thought it was. I keep hearing it's peaceful, and Billy's like,
your lungs fill up, and like it's supposed to be extraordinarily painful. No, dying of hypothermia is supposed to be.
So would you rather be burnt alive in a fire slowly or drown to death?
You don't usually die from being burnt alive. You usually die from smoke inhalation.
What would you rather have? I'd say drowning.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna ask a drowned victim when I die, and I'm gonna be like, when we go down, I'll pull out the Ouija board, and we'll go to next to a lake that we know people have drowned in.
And we're just gonna go to Niagara Falls, where people commit suicide there all the time, and just use a Ouija board. Good. I'm good. I don't need nothing following me home. I'm gonna let you do that, and I'm just gonna stand and draw a nice little protective circle around myself and chill here, like 20 feet away from you. Be like, all right, I'll film.
I still want to bring my Ouija boards down to Buffalo, and I want to fucking.
Don't do it. I'll bring my tarot cards and shit, and we'll do something. We'll do something fun and crazy.
We're gonna get some attached to us, but I hope it's a reptilian, so I can give me a shape-shifting powers.
Nah, there's enough techniques we can use to make sure that nothing follows us back.
So yeah, honestly, we're gonna be getting into the big time men eventually, but we're kind of just as we get into, we're in our 200 episodes in. Once we start getting, we're building up everything at Strange Brew into bigger, better, more strange content than we've ever done before. So it's all leading up to strangeness that is to come. And I'm excited. You should be excited because we have a lot of things on the way, especially for even the Patreon, for live streams. We got a bunch of ideas. You might even see me and just Anton do some live streams for fun for you guys. But the plan is to have me, Anton, and Billy to do some too also and talk about specific topics. But yeah, make sure to check out the Patreon. If you are a fan of us, literally the best way to support us is buy merch, rep that shit. And like I said, we said it the cheapest as we could. It is, especially if you're from the States, you get pretty good deals. Canada, we're about $2 more, considering the exchange rate, but you can get an $18 t-shirt from the site and stuff like that. It's only $15 shipping. The new merch design is up. It looks awesome. I just ordered a shirt and a poster for the dry corner I have in my room. It needs something, and I'm going to pop up the new poster. It's going to look dope. So, yeah, make sure, that's the way to support us, because we have a lot of stuff coming for the Patreon. That's going to be a lot of fun for you guys in your ear holes and your eye holes.
Yeah, there's also an afterpay option if you guys get something and they're like, I don't have all that money I want to drop right now. So it'll let you split it up into like 4 or 5. That's what I did with the flags.
Yes. Yeah, that's good too. The fact they allow you to do that, where you can pay $8 for 3 months and stuff like that, or whatever.
Yeah, I love the paying for shit, because it's just like, cool. Oh, okay, I can get stuff that I want and make silly purchases.
Exactly.
But jump over to Patreon. Obviously,
I only get a month purchase. I only get one online purchase a month, so I spent mine. Yeah, make sure to tune into us streaming too, because you can follow us at strangebrewttv. Anton's doing really well on Twitch. We're just getting up there. We have like 40 followers or something like that. So we are just kind of getting up there. And you know what? It's probably because I'm gaming not that consistently, at least once or twice a week. I try to get on, play some horror games with Anton, or I play a very scary game called At Dead of Night, where you can see me smash my face with the mic, as I've said before.
Tom has a thing with smacking himself in the face with microphones, because he did it on the St. Patty's Day special as well, which is available on Patreon.
Oh, yeah, I fell on the at the end. I thought the stream was turned off, and it wasn't, and I fell over pretty hardcore. So you can check out that on Patreon. But yeah, there's you'll see it coming soon, the second part of That Dead of Night, and I'm going to include the microphone smacked to my face with that one. So you'll get me playing this entire game, because it is a really interesting, fucked up game, and it's like a movie. It's literally designed to be like a jump scare movie. So make sure to check that out and follow fucking Antonio.
Invader Daggett _GTV, folks. Come hang out. Come say hi. Hang out with me, man. Smoke some weed. I got my bong. Come on, man. Come on. Son.
Yes. And I think that we will be diving into some alien and UFO cases very soon. And
thank God. I need a break from the murder.
Yes, we do. So we'll definitely, you'll hear it soon that we'll be talking about some aliens, probably back to some cryptids. We have many ideas on the docket. We have lots of fun things for you guys coming. We appreciate you. We love you. And stay strange.
Stay strange.
Yeah.